Hello. It is January 1st, which means people are home, but I'm still gonna film. And probably have to cut out a lot of stuff in the background, but that's fine. This is the first weekly reading vlog of the month. If you've seen one of my end of the year videos, I think I mentioned in a few of those that I plan to do for vlogs all of January, just weekly reading vlogs. And this one, for the first one, is gonna be the 1st through the 7th. Right? Makes sense. And that is why there was no TBR for January. Yay, fun. We love that for me. I am just popping to let you know what book I'm gonna start with for the month. And any reading plans I kind of have. Like, there's not actually any set TBR, but I have a few books I want to read. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm here to tell you about. The first one being The Going After Your Deception. That is one of the two books I have left over from 2022. I like it. I'm only 4 chapters in, but I like it. It's technically for like the book club that H and Dion and I have, but like I think H has read the first chapter, Dion hasn't read any of it, and I've read the first 4 chapters, and I do like it. It's just a matter of actually picking it up, but when I do pick it up, I enjoy it, so that's kind of what's happening. Also, it's on my iPad, and it's difficult sometimes to read on my iPad. It's annoying. But yeah, that's kind of that. And then the other one that's left over from 2022 is The Monsters in Our Shadows, which is a book from NetGalley. I do kind of really want to finish that one within the next week or two, being as I do want to post the review for that one pretty soon, even though the book doesn't actually come out until the end of February. But yeah, that one I'm having a fun time with. I think I'm about a quarter of the way through it. It's a horror, but we haven't really gotten to the mystery section of the horror yet, and I think I'm getting close to that point. We'll see, but I'm like a good chunk into it, and it hasn't really started the actual plot. It's just been a lot of setup so far, but I'm liking it. And it would be the one I'd be reading today with like family stuff when I read books on my phone, you know, like a normal person, except that it takes effort to read it, and I want an easy book to read in that type of situation. So the one that I'm going to start today is The Duchess War by Courtney Milan. Love that for me. I think it's called A Kiss from Midwinter. I've read 2 times now, once in 2022, and I think the first time in 2020, which I really liked, which is part of the Brother Sinister series, but it's like a novella that doesn't really have to do anything with the rest of the series. And then yesterday, to try to reach 200 books in the year, I read the first novella in the series, which is like a prequel that sets up the 2 brothers that I learned right afterwards that one of them is the main character of the first book. It's him trying to find love, right? So that was one. I really enjoyed that book like too much, and then I found out my library had it and it was available, so I instantly got it from Libby. Turns out it is not available on Kindle through Libby, which is weird. Whatever. So I'll just read that on my phone instead. But yeah, that's the first book I'm gonna start today and have a good time with. I'm very excited. Because sometimes a girlie just needs some romance, okay? That's kind of the plan. It'd be a very limited plan. I mean, there's 100% chance I'm just gonna read whatever I want. And, like, I just don't read some of these. That's fine. That's kind of the whole point of this, for me to actually mood read. Because I used to mood read all the time, and then I joined BookTube. And people are opening doors downstairs. And BookTube didn't leave much time for mood reading, and I miss it. So this is me mood reading. No, there is not a Mara Dyer on here. I'm sorry, H. Hello. Ignore this. I'm about to film the wrap up, but I should tell you what I read yesterday. Mostly at night. Let's be real. But I read 114 pages. Ow! I read 114 pages. I believe it was 36%. So just over a third of The Duchess War yesterday. And I'm liking it. I was a little worried in the beginning because the end of the first chapter is this big, I guess it's a pet peeve. It's like right in the middle of being a pet peeve and also a trigger at the same time. Like, it's like right in the middle there. And really usually just makes me hate whatever I'm reading. I guess I don't really know the words to explain, but basically when someone is falsely believed to have done something, like in this book, the kind of fiance of her best friend, Minnie's best friend, that's the main female character, comes up to her at the end of the first chapter and is like, hey, you're not who you are, and I think you're actually the one making all these bills and propaganda things to try to make the workers rise up and all this stuff, and I'm gonna find out who you are, and so help me, or I'll like stop you, and all this stuff. And there's like some stuff from her past that she doesn't want him to find out, which like we know the bare minimum of as you read it. But yeah, it's not good. My fridge just turned on. Yeah, it really bothers me whenever that happens. Okay, it's like not a good time. And I did continue to read afterwards, and it's fine now. Every time that he tries to do so again, everyone freaks out at him. The love interest quite literally basically told him he was being dumb and bringing down a woman for no reason, for no basis, like all this fun stuff. And he tried to tell his fiance, who is her best friend, and his current theory is that she's illegitimate, and she threw like 2 glasses of wine in his face, and at like a public party, I was like, how dare you treat my best friend like this? And like broke off the engagement and all this stuff. And yeah, we love that for her. Minnie is upset about that. She's like, you could like still be with him, just apologize to him, not that big of a deal, whatever, because she doesn't want to be the reason that they break off. But yeah, no, he kind of deserves it. He does not seem like a great guy at all. He keeps on threatening her and all this stuff, and basically the basis of the whole entire book is that she has to find, in her head, she has to find out who the actual person who wrote these propaganda things, so that she can get them to stop, because he said that if she didn't stop doing it, because he believed that she's the one doing it, with no evidence at all. Did I mention he's also like a police officer or something along those lines? Then he'll like figure out who she really is and bring her down, and she's scared that he will actually figure out the real truth and all that fun stuff. We love a man who threatens helpless women, and so that's fun. And the love interest is the one who wrote that propaganda, who is also a duke, so she goes to him, and there's like a battle of wits going on right now, in which she's using like her meek demeanor that she's like built up as a wall so people can't see who she really is, to basically defeat him, in which he's all like, I will flirt with you to get people to believe that we're a thing and all this stuff. Like, in his eyes, is very much like season 1 of Bridgerton, where he thinks that if he'll flirt with her, other men will go to her, like, right, you know how they made that deal in season 1 of Bridgerton and all that fun stuff. And so she could actually find someone who's worthy of her love and attention and all that fun stuff. Except he doesn't understand that she does not want all that attention. And then also she thinks that it'd be dumb for him to like flirt with her, like who would actually believe a duke flirting with her and all this stuff. But he's like actually really into her. Let me just say, the last chapter I read, you got to see his dreams, and it is not a lie to say that he's into her, and also that my sister's downstairs, and she just coughed, so I will be cutting out some of this probably. But yeah, no, he's into her, she's kind of into him. He's also, being near him has helped her realize how, like, making this wall up and being a shell of a person, hasn't really benefited her the way that it was supposed to, and, how the life she was making for herself is not the life that she wants. And so I'm just waiting for her to admit that she, well, not really that she likes him too, because she does find him attractive and all that stuff, but like for her to admit that there's a world in which he could be into her, and him to admit that he deserves to be happy despite anything that his father has done in the past. And so yeah, because in case you don't know, in case you didn't see, basically my wrap up, I guess, is where I'm going to talk about it more. But basically, the prequel novella that I read before this, that made me really want to read this, is about his brother's mother. Does it make any sense? His half brother. Let's just say his father is the villain, and the reason why there's an SA tag on both books, okay? On Storygraph, as well as other terms. Let's just say that. And his half brother is the illegitimate child resulting from that. And the novella is like the romance of the brother's mother and this guy who worked for their dad, right? Okay. And then the other member of the brother sinister, which is the name of the series, is his cousin, the Duke's cousin. So very exciting, and I'm having a good time. I was reading it last night and I got to 25% about, and I was like, you know, I can stop here. But then I was like, well, I'm at 82 pages for the day. I could read a little bit more, maybe 2 chapters, and get up to 100 pages, right? For another thing that you don't have to worry about it. And then this is where it becomes fun. I didn't want to put the book down, so then I was like, well, can I read? It was like 11:37 p.m. and I was like, can I read another chapter before it becomes midnight and I have to log this? And then I was like, I totally can, and then I did. And that's how I got to 36% last night. I'm having a good time. I really like the banter. I think I've realized that something that's really important, especially in historical romance for me, is the banter and battle of wits type thing. And they really, like, most of the plot has to do with them having a battle of wits, in which she is destroying him and he loves her all the more for it. And yeah, I realized that's another reason why I really loved my favorite historical romance, A Week to Be Wicked, whose main character is also named Minerva. Minnie's real name in the Duchess War is actually Minerva, so we love that. We love that. But yeah, that's what's happening. I'm enjoying it, and I'll probably update you tomorrow morning with today's update, because let's be real, that's how it goes. Well, it is 1 o'clock on Tuesday, and that is the only second time I had to say that, because as soon as I hit record, I was about to say something. The phone rang. We love that for me. But yes, I'm here to tell you about what I read yesterday, which was only 69 pages. I'm not laughing at the fact that the number 69. I'm laughing at an experiment I'm kind of doing right now also, which you'll see beginning of next month. And, yeah. Love how I low-key already failed. But anyways, I read 69 pages of the Duchess War, and I'm enjoying it. I would also like to know, I already read 32 pages today, because it's, like, pretty late in the afternoon, because, I need my mom to cut my hair, and she's home today, so, that means I have to wet my hair in order for her to be able to cut this. And so, yeah, it's not fully dry yet. It's still damp, but it's as dry as it's gonna get in the next 3 hours. So we are here and filming. What do I have to say? The romance, yes. The banter, still yes. I pretty sure the stuff of officially learning about Minnie's past was the stuff that I read this morning, but like, we've been getting hints. There's been hints throughout the whole entire book. And I say hints, but like, basically it's been stated in the book, but it's separated in different parts, so it's basically just laid out before you in the whole thing where she comes clean. And I was like, okay, it's not that big of a deal, because I knew this already. I thought there was gonna be like something added to it, which there was a little bit with her dad, but like, not really. Stevens can fight me. He's the officer who basically believes that she's the one who's writing the propaganda papers about the working people, like, trying to unionize and all that fun stuff. And meanwhile, it's Robert, the main male character, right? And he only made it worse because he quite literally used a quote that she gave both of them, which is a quote from a book, a chess book. And so basically, Stevens was like, oh, it's definitely her, and then was like going to her best friend's father, and it was all like, hey, she has this whole secret life and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I will punch this man's. And also the way that her best friend's father was like willing to believe him and all this stuff, while also like knowing that she's the only person that was willing to help his daughter when she was going through her like trouble in the past. I don't know how to feel about that. And the best friend Lydia is not happy with her because she is very upset that she never told her that she had a secret. Meanwhile, Minnie knew her secret all along, which I kind of get, but also like, girl, like, she got rocks thrown at her to the point where she wasn't sure if she was gonna be able to see out of one eye ever again. So like, it's a different level. I mean, not really, but like, no one knows about her secret, and that's because of her. Everyone knows about her secret because of her ex-fiance telling everyone. Except not anymore because Robert stopped him. I want to know how, and also did he punch him? He did punch one guy for her. Anyways, Robert, after hearing the whole story about her past, finally recognizes the whole entire reason why she won't marry him is not because she doesn't like him or any of that stuff. It's because she doesn't do crowds and the way that everyone look at her because of that. And the way that she literally told him that, and he didn't recognize that. Listen, I'd like to quote myself at like midnight in a voice message to H, in which I say, men are dumb. Yeah, it's kind of funny how dumb he is. At this point, they've basically agreed to get engaged, and get married. We learn more about Robert's background, specifically with his mother. I like kind of see where his mother comes from and her reasoning for the way that she treated him, but also like, I don't like, it's almost like it's trying to use the way that she was victimized as well, how she's also a victim of his father, to make it okay that she emotionally and physically neglected her own child. Like, I get why, but then like also the way that it makes it seem like she's a good parent because of it. I'm not so sure about that part, especially currently she's still a good parent because of doing that. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Because her current way of doing that is to literally emotionally destroy him so he will never be emotionally hurt again, instead of letting him be happy. That does not seem like healthy parenting to me. I don't know about you. But yeah, basically they're low-key engaged, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I like Robert's friends. There's Violet. I don't know if Violet's gonna be a love interest in one of the books, or maybe one of the future books is gonna be about her. She's like the fourth member of the Brother Sinisters, which is Robert, his half-brother from the prequel novella, and his cousin. So Violet's like a widow that's in the same friend group, so maybe she's in it. But also, I kind of want Lydia to get with the doctor, because like, he already knows her history, but like, doesn't seem to care. Hear me out. But yeah, I want someone to punch Stevens, and for Minnie and Robert to admit they really like each other. Like, he's basically admitted that he's basically in love with her, and she's admitted that there's a very high chance she will fall in love with him. And she is, when he proposes again, and he's like, I will protect you from all the things you were scared of, all this stuff, now that he understands what they are, and all this stuff, and proposes again. She like contemplates actually saying that she loves him, but like, she also understands that internally he needs someone to actually say I love you and mean it, so she's waiting until she means it, type thing, which she's like not expecting to be long, because yeah. I'm expecting Spice Dance. I don't know, I'm like 68% of the way through, and they're happy together, so I assume there's gonna be some spicy dance in that. Listen, I know how the two of them dream about each other at night, and what they dream about specifically, so it's not far-fetched of a hope, okay? Or an expectation, really. But yeah, that's what's happening. And I think that's it. Other things, Wilder Girls, the little mini book club that Dion H and I guess it's technically a buddy read, but we call it a book club because we're cool like that. We are reading Wilder Girls this month. I was the one to choose the book this month. I am very scared. Last time I picked a book, let's just say I was blamed for some things. Okay, but Dion's not really in the mood for reading, so it was basically picking some books. And if Dion gets in the mood, she'll pick it up. If not, it's fine. And then H and I read it. And I picked, basically I went through all of my Storygraph books and I was like, okay, I want horror. And then every Y horror with the gay tag on Storygraph, I was like, okay, these are our options. And Wilder Girls was available at my library, and that was the one of the two that H was leaning more towards, so we went with that one. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm intrigued. It'll be interesting because both H and I hate Lord of the Flies, right? And it's based off of Lord of the Flies, so it'll be interesting how that goes. I mean, I'm not gonna say I don't expect it to be, or I expect it to be bad or anything like that, because I read The Troop, which was also based off of Lord of the Flies, and I didn't like it as much as I thought it would, but like it was still a 3-star. I'm trying to think of other books based off of retellings. These Violent Delights, is that in this pile? It is. I hated Romeo and Juliet. I think I gave both books in this series 3.5 stars, so like doesn't really mean anything. Not the biggest fan of Cinderella. Enjoyed this, 3 stars, so I don't think it really means anything. In fact, I love anything Arthurian, and I read Cursed a few years ago, the book that Netflix TV show is based off of, and I hated that. I think I gave it 1, maybe 2 stars, so like, it doesn't really mean anything. But I think the conversation about the fact that both of us hate Lord of the Flies will make the whole entire reading experience interesting. What are the other things? Oh, I just got a poetry book from NetGalley that is published the 10th, which means I gotta read that thing soon and write my review. Speaking of which, I gotta write my review for a book that comes out also on the 10th that the review is supposed to go up tomorrow. That's fun. It's only like 186 pages. I briefly opened it on my phone on the NetGalley app. I think it's called The Things Unspoken. The Things That Are Unspoken. Something like that. Something like that. That's something around the vein that the title of that poetry book is. So that's another thing I gotta read. But yeah, that's the update. I didn't do much reading, but I have a bunch of books I have to read. So, you know, that's how it be sometimes. Anyways, I'm gonna go. Maybe I'll actually read. Actually, I'll probably write that review finally. And I will see you all probably tomorrow morning. So it's been a bit. It's been a few days. Just few. And I'm wearing like every pattern I can, apparently. You're not. What happened? I believe it was Tuesday that I didn't read much. I only read like 50 pages. Only of The Duchess War. Let's be real. Yesterday, Wednesday, I finally finished it. Took me long enough. I think the issue was once the marriage happened, the romance was kind of pushed aside a little bit. At least it felt like it. It didn't feel as important, and it wasn't as enjoyable to read about. Also, I didn't really like any of the spicy dance scenes. But it was mostly just the mystery plot and the court plot. And a continuation of the main issue I had at the beginning with the blaming someone for something that they didn't do type thing. But it was someone else again. So that's lovely. And by that's lovely, I mean, meh. It was just fine. I liked the romance. I liked the writing. It was fine. It wasn't the greatest thing I've ever read, but I did have a good time, for a good chunk of time there. And what else can I say? Time. So I'm going with 3.5 stars. which is what I rated the next book in the series, which is the Christmas novella that I've read, which we love for me. We love that. I do plan to read the next actual novel in the series at some point. I don't know when, but I will read it. I don't even know which brother it's about. Like, I honestly don't know what that one's about. I just was like, I'll read the next one. I guess I don't have an issue with the series and I'm enjoying them, so might as well. So, you know, that's kind of the plan with that. And then also, I started that poetry book, The Words Left Unspoken. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. The book cover's up. You can see it. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to talk too much about it because it is for a NetGalley review type thing. So, you know, by the time you watch this, the review should be up. So, like, go read it if you really want to know. I'm about halfway through now. Yesterday I read like a third of it. I've just been reading a few pages during ads while I watch TV. And it's been working out fine. The writing style, some of the poems I really like, some of the poems I don't like or are just meh. Which is usually the case for a lot of poetry collections I read, but like this is definitely more towards the meh side. And then there's some poems about relationships and love and that type of stuff, and those ones I generally enjoy. But also there's like a lot of poems that have to do with like moral, like their morals and telling you how you should live your life and all this stuff. And I'm not really enjoying those ones, like, at all. The formatting I'm enjoying. And that's kind of it. That's really all my thoughts. I kind of want to finish that today. And then I have no clue what I'm going to read next. I have a lot of books I could read. I may start Beach Read next, which is sitting over there. So that's kind of the current plan. And the update. I have nothing else to say, really. I have no thoughts. So I'll see you probably tomorrow with probably the star rating for the poetry book. New filming location unlocked. We love that. If you have here plastic, there's gonna be a thing where I show off the things that finally came in the mail. Late. But it did come during the week that this vlog is supposed to be out. Despite the fact that it is Sunday and I'm supposed to start the next vlog today. Because we love that. Also, yes, I am showing off the blanket my mother made me for Christmas. I just want to live my best life. Okay? But yes, different room. I think the last time I filmed or did anything in here was, well, the last time I filmed in here was the original alphabet vlog. We don't need to talk about that. But the first 24-hour sprints that are gone forever because those are on the old channel, was done in this room on the bed. This is technically my mom's room. This used to be my bedroom before I went to college. But yeah, I was making the thumbnail and I realized all the screenshots from the clips are all up in my room, which is fine, except the wood paneling, just all of that together, looked a little weird. So I wanted to do something a little different. I am in the dog bed. Also, there are 2 dogs. So you may see a dog. Probably will hear one. But yeah, everyone went shopping, so I was like, might as well film down here. But I'm next to a window on the dog bed. Much more comfortable than my bed. Like, hear me out. Also, you can still slightly see it, but that's the walker from when, my mom's boyfriend had his knee surgery. And, it's mostly out of the frame. But, you know, I think I have, like, 3 days of reading to catch you up on. I think last time I talked to you, I was talking about the poetry book, which name I always forget. I think I was like maybe halfway through it, maybe a third. I did finish it on the 2nd day. And I'm not gonna go into it again. I think I mentioned this, but I did an instant post much earlier than planned. It was originally supposed to be posted the 10th, and then I just posted it that day because I'm psychotic.
But there's like a 2-sentence thing on Instagram, Goodreads, Storygraph, all that fun stuff. But basically the moral stories, I rated it 2 stars. It was kind of boring and very preachy, but I did like a few of the poems. In actuality, it is more of like a 2.5. But for NetGalley purposes, I choose one or the other, 2 or 3, and it was more of a 2 than a 3. But I still recommend it. Like, it's still fun time. And then the day that I finished that, I also started Fun Home, which is a book that my bestie, my real life bestie, has been recommending to me for years, and also is the Book of Lesbians, apparently. Love that. And it was also mentioned in Kiss Her Once for Me, which was like my favorite book of December. If you didn't see my 2022 wrap, or December 2022 wrap up, that was a thing. But basically the whole entire meet cute, the first one, happened with them both going to pick up Fun Home from the bookstore, right? That's what the meet cute happened, all that fun stuff. So I've decided to finally read it. I had it on Scribd. It was on Scribd, and I was like, why not? I have a free trial, might as well read it, right? And I finally did. I read 88 pages that first day, and then I finished it the second day, which is Friday. And it was fine. I gave it 3 stars. It was interesting, I guess. It was definitely surprising, but it was also boring at the same time. Like, it went into a lot of topics, but it barely brushed them, and I wanted it to go more into it. And then it never did. And if it was brought up again later on in the book, they would basically reiterate what happened already, or what we already knew as a reader. So it was like no new information, and I was like, no, I actually just want the straight up information, just give it to me. And I got kind of annoyed after a bit. And so I'm going with 3 stars. It wasn't bad, but I also didn't love it. And I'm happy I finally read it, and I'm moving on with my life, right? Makes sense. And then I started beach read that day. I think I only read the first chapter. Well, I know I read only the first chapter. I think it was 13 pages. So that's fun. And then yesterday I got to page 125. So that's fun. I'm very happy with this book. I still love it, okay? It is still great. I'm using my new bookmark that Bestie's boyfriend bought me for Christmas. So, you know, we love that for me. But yeah, no, I still love this. I relate to January so much. So much, okay? And I think that's why I love this book so much. I mean, I did originally love it before I started relating to January as much as I did. I already slightly related to her, but like, things happened in 2020 that made me relate to her so much more, okay? So when I reread it in January of 2021, which is the last time I read it, it's been basically exactly a year, because I think it was shortly after New Year's. I was visiting Bestie the last time I read this, and you look at me now. But basically, a lot of this book is like her trying to fall in love with love again, right? But also her going through the emotions and grief and all the stuff of things that have happened to her in the past year, and how she is looking at life through a new lens, but how like love can still be there despite the stuff. So she's still trying to find love for love and the way that she thought life was before her life turned upside down, but also like she's trying to just be alive. And the way that it makes me feel that also, and also the way I just relate to her, yeah, 10 out of 10. I mean, I'm only a third of the way through, I think, But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a 5-star. We all know this. This is gonna be a 5-star reread. It's great. I love it. Nothing's gonna change that. Like, nothing could. So yeah. That's all I've really got to say for this book. I love it. I was gonna give you an update on it. But I'm not. Because that's for the next vlog. Though I do have to talk about another book. I did some math and I did some things. Going for Your Deception, one of the books, 2 books that I brought over from 2022 that I have to finish, please, for the love of God. I read 2 chapters of that. I don't know how many pages that was exactly. I think like 22 pages or 23 pages, something like that. That sounds right. I like it. I don't know why I have such an issue with picking it up. I was talking to H about this a while back. Where I like it and I'm really enjoying it, but I have difficulty picking it up. And so, like, when I actually pick it up, I have a good time, but, like, it's actually the process of picking it up that I'm having an issue. And if there was an audiobook that I could get my hands on, I think it would be easier. But I did try to find an audiobook, like, in December. Actually, in November when I was originally supposed to read it. And I couldn't find it. I don't remember why. So here we are. So I read 2 chapters of that. I'm liking it. And there's kind of, like, a new plan with that. And also the other book that I brought in from 2022 that you'll have to watch next vlog to learn about, because that's not for your ears. That's for this week and for the rest of the month. And not really important. But let's just say I got some planned reading daily. But yes, also all the things came. I'm going to start off with the easy ones. I did take them out of the packages that came in just to make sure they had everything, because there was some issue with them delivering. We don't need to talk about how bad my mailman is, okay? I got multiple colors of the mini sticky notes. Finally, I found some. I tried to find some forever ago. There's a bug. I tried to find some, I want to say my senior year of college, maybe second semester, junior year. But I remember it was COVID, and I ordered some sticky notes from Amazon thinking that they were the mini ones, because they said something about small sticky notes in the listing, and it was not mini sticky notes. I quite literally, like, I saw a lot of listings that were like small sticky notes, mini sticky notes. I did not choose any of those. I chose the ones that gave me exact measurements, and I went with those ones because I was like, those are the ones that I'm gonna want. And they had multiple colors, so like, here we go. I bought these. I also bought the other sticky notes. These are translucent ones. These are the only ones that have been taken out of their original packaging, because my sister was very intrigued by these. I'm just gonna cut out the sound of me opening up that package. These are also all like individually packaged. Kind of reminds me of the craft singles things. You know what I'm talking about. So that's lovely. But we got neon orange. We got like a little notes one that has date and message lines on the top, which is fun. These are all like supposed to be translucent, so you can like write on it but see the book underneath, because let's be real, that's what I'd be using it for. This one's basically just empty. We got neon yellow, neon green, is this cobalt blue? I don't know, I'm colorblind. Purple, graphing grid paper type ones. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah. Recorded line notes one, like line notepads, and then neon pink. Should we test them out? Okay, so like the color ones, I don't think they're gonna be translucent enough. Okay, like I can see a little bit through it, but it's like not really enough. Now I gotta figure out how to put it back in here. Can't wait to cut out all that crinkling plastic noise. But I'm gonna test out. Okay, yeah, no, the white ones are a little more see-through. Like, yeah, you can see my finger through that. I don't think you'd be able to like read the book per se through it, but these ones I don't really mind if they weren't completely see-through or completely translucent, because like just the, I mean, It looks much more translucent like that. Yeah, I think these ones are much better. Me trying to figure out how to angle this for you. Yeah, that should work. But the like patterns on these, like they're mini note papers, is enough for me. Like I didn't mind as much if they weren't translucent, but they seem to be pretty translucent. Okay, so I got the orange out because that was the top one I had in here when I put them back in the bag, to see if maybe it was just because it was like against the orange, like it was against back color type thing, right? Is this making sense? And it does seem more translucent. So I'm gonna say yeah, they work. And I'm very excited. Okay, the next thing is tabs. I still have them in here, but I'll pull it out. There's 2 of these, and each of them has 3. If I remember the listing properly, it said like 2,500 tabs total, which is good because like but we got a large range of colors. Yeah, when I took a photo yesterday, this purple looked more pink, but I think it's more purple on here. Then we got like neon pink. I think this is purple. I don't know. We got blue, neon green, dark green, yellow, orange, white, and then a red. So yeah, very exciting. I'm very happy with these and all that fun stuff. I'll leave these out for the thumbnail purposes, but yeah, very happy about these. And then the last thing is the pens, the quote-unquote erasable gel pens. When I was reading the back yesterday, it said that it erases with friction, so you can't get it too hot or else it'll erase like the whole thing, whatever you wrote on, which was 50 degrees Celsius. I looked it up. That's about 122 degrees. So as long as I don't put my book in an oven, I'm good. Love that. I'm trying to see where I can open. Oh, it's back here on this angle. Okay. And then to bring back the thing if you accidentally erase something, is negative 10 degrees Celsius. And quite literally says just put it in your freezer and that will work. I guess if I mess up, I can just throw my books in a freezer. Oh, it's in like in here. Okay. Oh, it's got an instruction manual. Also, it says non-toxic. That's fun. Okay, so apparently they're like kind of temperamental with writing, depending on the temperature that you're in. But as long as you're like not writing in direct sunlight, and they're not freezing cold, they should be fine. There's a large range of colors. We got yellows and oranges, reds, multiple pinks and purples and blues, some greens. I don't know what this like more. And then you've got like, I guess they're the 3 basic pen colors, which is like the dark murky blue, dark murky gray, and black. And I brought down my basic normal sticky notes with me, so we can test them on camera. What color we want to do? We'll do one of the basic colors, and then one of the brighter colors. So maybe a pink. Oh, I'm trying to figure out how to get the pen out. It's one of the ones that the clip does it. I feel like I have something else that has it like that. I gotta take the red stopper off the bottom. Give me a second. Put that here, I guess. And then it said to shake it a little bit. Oh, that wrote pretty fast. Oh no, I messed up. If only I had to erase. Actually, I should wait until it dries completely. So I will take off the red stopper of this one. Oh, this bright pink. If these work properly, at some point soon, ignore the fact I'm wearing shorts, some point soon, you will be getting a video where you get to see some of at least my annotating of Legendborn. Very exciting. Okay, let's test. on my own, so you can't really tell. I mean, can you tell? You can, like, see the indent from the line still, right? Makes sense. But, like, there's no ink there. That is a very bad angle in my face. I am sorry. I'm gonna test it with the pink. Let's see. Okay, well, I didn't do it in the same area, really. You gotta press it kind of hard. Maybe if you press less hard, it'll still work. A little, but like it's more of a press hard type thing, which makes sense, I guess, because it's friction, right? That's how the science works. It's not really working with the pink. Oh, never mind. It is. I just have to have it. Here, we'll do it like this, where I'll do it like this. You gotta have it down on a surface. Kind of makes sense. For the friction to work properly, kind of makes sense. Kind of makes sense. You do have to press a little hard. And go over it a few times for it to work. But that's fine. Honestly, that's not too bad. Could be much worse. Like if you have to erase like a whole entire thing, it's gonna be a little annoying. But like, it's pretty. Yeah, I just put a line right through that whole entire section. Yeah, they work. I was gonna say I'm gonna throw away this top sticky note, but no, I'm just gonna continue to erase. And while I do the outro, because like, what else will I do? Oh, that works so well. Oh my god, this is amazing. You can't even, you have to like turn it directly at an angle to even tell that there was anything written there. Beautiful. I think for the purposes of like writing, you don't have to press that hard. So I think if you don't like really put any pressure on it so that it doesn't make as much of an indent actually into whatever you're writing on, that will help get it all out. But yeah, this works beautifully. I'm very happy. Do I have anything else to say? No. That's it. That's the last thing I have to talk about for this video. I wrote more to see how much pressure you have to put on, but yeah, these worked pretty great. I'll like test them on the actual book that I'm going to use it on first, and see if it works properly with that paper before I like go full in. But yeah, so far I'm gonna go with yes. These were worth it. But yeah, this is this video. It's chaos. And yeah, what do I have to say? Linked below is my Instagram, Storygraph, Goodreads. I've mentioned this multiple times. I do like reviews and updates and favorites of the month and all that fun stuff. So like, check out that stuff. Link below. There is, I mean, this is the first one of 4 or 5 weekly reading vlogs. So there isn't gonna be a playlist yet because this is the first one. But after this one, there will be a playlist, and that will be in the end screen and also in the cards. So like, check for that. Yeah, it works better if you don't really put as much pressure down when you write. The darker colors are a little more difficult to erase because you still see slightest bit. Maybe if I put in the oven. But I think it's just because the pigment is darker. But also, I went over it again and it basically erased it. So, you know, that's fun. This has been filming for way too long. But I think half of it was from me opening things. So, that's fine. And yeah, I think that's it for the video. Stay tuned for next week, in which I have plans. And also, things should start getting interesting near the end of next week's weekly reading vlog, because that's when they take the sister back to college, which means I get to be home alone for a few days. And then also there isn't a child home constantly, so I have more time to film. It's gonna be lovely, very exciting. So yeah, but until then, thank you for coming, and